time MJF is on the microphone, Tony Khan just pees a little bit. Because he doesn't know what these guys are saying, man. I know Tony Khan made a comment not too long ago that he has some of the best talkers in the industry. And I don't know if I quite agree with that, you know what I'm saying? But he has some pretty good people, but they don't really carry on really good storylines. I have not really been that invested into any of the AEW storylines. Um, where I'm emotionally invested as a fan. I think it was some that came kind of close. I think the story of Warlow was done really well. When Warlow and MJF had the whole feud going back and forth, and it was kind of like the rich boss kind of keeping the man down, which the story has been done a dozen times, man. But I think they did that really well. Um, but other than that, it hasn't been too many storylines that I've been invested into. I know John Moxley and what's my man name? The Cowboy.
Well, Adam Page.
Thank you. Yeah. Hangman Page, man, they had a storyline going on where it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they've said some great things to each other, cut some pretty good promos, but I wasn't that invested into it. Like I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? And I think the thing with AEW, even though they put on some really great wrestling matches, like make me care. You know what I'm saying? I really
Right.
don't. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's let's talk about that real quick. And I know we kind of getting off subject for Monday Night Raw's hot topics, but I want to kind of get into it, man. Where you've seen some of the wrestlers that were fired from WWE go to AEW, and they start doing things. But for me, a lot of wrestlers. There are few wrestlers that transition over from WWE to AEW that are making an impact, right?
Hmm.
I think that Adam Cole is one of those guys who are on the AEW roster. If he stays healthy enough, he can really make an impact on any roster that he's on. But I think his career has transferred really well to the AEW crowd. Um, Also, Samoa Joe, he's doing really well. But he's on Ring of Honor. Like I said, I don't understand that whole dynamic. I don't know if Ring of Honor is a whole another brand and it's under AEW, or if they're working alongside just like they do New Japan and AAA. So I'm not too sure about that whole thing. But I seen Ember Moon. Ember Moon went over and she became Athena, and she's now the Ring of Honor champion for the female side. So she's doing good. And then Swerve Strickland is doing really well. But why? I got a question. Why aren't some of the talent and the stardom of some of these stars who were stars in WWE, why isn't that translating over to AEW effectively?
I think it's more so the booking of everything. They have Keith Lee, who came from WWE, who was this monster of a guy, um, and he was in a ring with Roman Reigns, matched his star. You got
Pause you real quick because let me pause you real quick.
Shane Strickland.
Yeah, let me pause you real quick because your mic is going in and out. Um, and I think I really want to hear what you have to say on that topic, because it's something that I think is interesting, man. Like I think some of the people who are doing good, like Keith Lee, I don't know what Keith Lee is doing right now. You know what I mean? Keith Lee, 'cause I swear Keith Lee looked like he 86 years old, bro. And you know, if you're an entertainer, bro, like it's a difference. If you're a wrestler, that's fine. But if you're an entertainer, you have a certain look. Keith Lee, just dye your hair, bro. I know you're naturally gray, but it does not look good with you on that. Like either shave your head or just kind of dye it a little bit. But when your whole face is entirely gray, I think that kind of brings down the stock a little bit. I want to see Keith Lee do better on the main roster. I want to see, and especially the females. The females have not translated well at all. You look at Ruby Soho. She's really not doing anything. She's with this new group with her, Paige, and and Tony Storm, but they had to kind of click up because they didn't know what was happening. They didn't know what was going on. Because everything's going to try to fix the mic a little bit. But to keep this going, I don't know how well some of these signees who's crossed over from WWE and now they're on the AEW product. I don't quite know how well that's translating on the main roster when it comes to getting more eyes on the product. I know that Soraya or Paige, she was affectionately known in WWE, and she's even had a movie made about her family on WWE product. Paige made the transition over, and I thought that was going to be really big for the women's division there. But when Paige got there, she did absolutely nothing. She just kind